Hey guys, Rabbitry here, back with another Starcraft Broodwar Remastered cast, and today we have a game between the blue Zerg, who is Hero, and he is playing against the red Terran, who is JYJ. So, two top Korean players, both very regular participants in the ASL, playing a ladder game here in March 2023 on Polypoid. Okay, so always fun to watch these top players playing on the ladder. Always interesting to see what builds they're choosing to practice, what strategies they are choosing to go with. So subscribe to the channel if you enjoy top Koreans playing Broodwar, because that's what we're going to be focusing on for some time. We've done some snow games, we've done some Soma games. And we are going to continue to move through a list of about 25 players that I've identified that frequently take part in the ASL, and also people just enjoy watching them. So do hit that like button if you enjoy this cast, or if you're a regular viewer who swings by the channel. And yeah, man, looking forward to getting into this one. So we have a low ground depot, which tells me we're going to try and do the depot wall. Very unique, as I mentioned in quite a recent cast, to this specific spawning position on Polypoid. Let's see what our Zerg is doing. Looks like he's going to be opening up with a 12 hatchery, which is pretty standard for this matchup. So I was doing my uploads and scheduling for my next batch of content. By the time you're watching this, I literally would have happened 2 weeks ago. But what I noticed is I actually had a little bit of a shortage of Terran versus Zergs. I had quite a lot of PVZs and quite a lot of PVTs, but I didn't have as many TVZs as what I thought I had made. So it does give me a chance to start making some hero games for the first time. I've also got some Light versus Hero that's coming out. I've got some more Soma games. So I'm really looking forward to getting through to all of them. It's amazing watching these players play. So from my perspective, it's obviously I'm casting and that's fun, and I very much enjoy doing it. But to get to cast players of this skill level, you learn an awful lot about the game. And it's just amazing to watch Broodwar played at this level. So I'm certainly doing it for no other reason than the fact that it's just really rewarding to watch these games. I just also get to have the fun of commentating while I'm doing so, and then my reactions are sort of quite genuinely in real time how I'm feeling about something that just happened. I mean, the recent cast of a set between Saxtry and Stork, where Saxtry sniped those High Templars, I think I just about fell over from excitement. And that I stand when I cast, so falling over is not a good idea for a number of reasons. Anyway, enough rabbit waffle has now been completed. We have our little depot wall. We are picking up our barracks and putting it down. Presumably we just didn't quite like the placement of it, and we're going to continue making our marines out of here. So a nice econ-centric start from JYJ. Has done pretty well too in keeping this SCV alive until I said that. Now it's gone. So he's not really going to be able to scout if it's going to be anything weird from our Zerg. Doesn't look like Hero's up to anything other than going lair, getting himself a macro hatch. This is very conventional. So what I have seen in some recent ZVTs is the 2-hatch version, where you don't have the natural hatch in the main, and or the macro hatch, excuse me, in the main. But it looks like we're going to go with a 3-hatch version this time. I won't be surprised to see the second gas relatively soon, and then it's going to be a slightly later muter harassment, but with more muters and with more macro power. So that's what I'm expecting we're going to see this side. The academy is coming in. So the academy coming in off of one. There's 2 barracks. Obviously the other one's on the low ground. So the academy coming in off of 2 racks, also very standard. The eBay is on its way up here. JYJ knows what to expect. He knows it's going to be muters. He knows he's got to get himself ready for the harassment that is incoming. Here's the completion of the second gas, the transfer of workers, perfectly timed. So it's definitely going to be, we can see the spire. So the games that finish fast with these types of starts are the ones where I think the Terran isn't able to effectively fend off the muter pressure. and or they really are and they kill the mutas, and then the Zerg's just got nothing left to protect them, right? So this skill though, it's always amazing to see these little timing move outs. I see this so often from the Terran, and I've actually asked a few Terran players why this happens, and the goal is not to kill anything, it's just to kill 2 drones, right? By forcing out these Sunkens. So now he's going to slow down the econ of the Zerg, and he's forcing him to build these Sunkens. So he doesn't really have any intention of engaging here. He's going to get to this point, he's going to turn around. He's not even going to take a hit, right? He's going to go all the way back to his base now to fend off the mutas, but he's slowed down the econ power of the Zerg substantially by killing those 2 drones and forcing him to buy the creep, which is 50 minerals each, and then I think it's a further 75 minerals to get the Sunken. So just econ harassment in the most sort of non-obvious way, but it's very, very important that it is done by the Terran, because it has a huge impact on how the Zerg scales and reduces the speed at which the Zerg can scale. So the mutas have arrived. The turrets are in play though. Hero, obviously an incredibly strong Zerg player, is going to be very, very strong with mutalist harassment. Picks himself off SCV that was building that turret. But I like the turret placement where you've got the 2 here next to the racks and then 2 this side. It kind of cuts off the whole horizontal approach that the Zerg can take. That being said though, there's no Marines or anything. So he does get the turret, but I think the mutas there did take a few hits. And so far, very nicely dealt with by JYJ, and he has really amassed a serious amount of bio here. Moving his racks now onto the high ground because he wants to have his production all together. Not really too concerned about needing to wall in here. I think he feels like he's got enough units. He's got his 2 turrets here, so back harassment from this angle is going to be quite difficult. He probably feels comfortable that he could move out and probably fight with these mutas head on. And the turret, I really like this turret line placement is very, very strong. Hero's got very little done with his mutas, and now he needs to retreat with them because this bio that's out on the map is going to be a serious threat. I think JYJ scanning around the map, potentially looking for a third, knowing that you know, that tends to be the strat from the Zerg. Once they do their muta harassment, they try and use their mutas to exercise map control. And when they have that map control, they tend to try and expand behind that, and then they get lurkers out, right? And they pop their lurkers on here, and it's very, very difficult for the Terran to get up and break this. But if you're Terran, you have a window, because it's still going to be a while before lurker aspect is ready. We can see that this is an interesting build because the Hydra Den is coming up with the Queen's Nest as well. So the progression to Hive Tech is not going to be far behind the lurker aspect. So quite a tech-centric build from our Zerg, to say the least. A couple more turrets coming up. I think he just wants to feel safe from counterattacks so that he can start to move out onto the map with his bio. Settling on 3 turrets around his natural with this AI bugging factory being floated here very purposefully. And then he's got plenty of turrets here as well. So I think he is safe from mutas. And now maybe just gathering up to the point where he feels like he has enough forces. And then we're going to see a bit of a push out here before lurkers already. So I've got a feeling that's got to be the play here from Terran. Here comes the surround though. Links from the one side, mutas from the other. This fireball's kind of just been sitting here parking off. That was a beautiful surround by Hero. Although a lot of Marines have suddenly come from the bottom side to reinforce, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. That was a masterful surround. It caught everybody, myself included, totally by surprise. I thought JYJ was totally flying in this game, and he just got smushed. Wow, what a play by Hero that was. Damn, man, as I was saying earlier, these guys do stuff that just takes your breath away. I honestly did not see that coming. Okay, so we're on to 5 racks production now. The game for JYJ is by no means over, but unfortunately now this third of Heroes is fully saturated. He's got absolutely no stress. He's starting to make Hydras. He's starting to make Lurkers. So he is going to become virtually unbreakable to just pure bio, which means that JYJ needs to have a starport. He needs to have vessels. He is building his vessels now. He is using radiates. So it's going to be SK Terran versus Lurkers and probably Lings and Defilers. The Mutas utility would have very soon run its course. We can see that the Defiler Mound is incoming. We can see a Nidus to connect the top right and top left bases. The Hive Tech is in play. I mean, the speed at which Hero has executed this build, without falling behind on production and drones, etc., etc. It's just absolutely top class, which you would expect from an elite Zerg player like him. So we're moving some lurkers across here to fortify this base. We have a Nidus on top of this to give us some extra protection. And we're getting some Scourge into the equation now to try and combat the vessels that we can expect to be in the game. So some vessels are out. He's moving across the map. Does use his mutas just to pick off one or two of the Marines. Does lose one there. Floating his factory here. Potentially looking at setting up for a third behind this maybe. I wouldn't think that that's the case. I think he would need to get some damage with this move out. I also think he's just kind of deciding where he wants to go. Looks like a little bit of hesitation. He changed direction there once or twice. Here he comes. He's going to probably get this Overlord for free. That's the second Overlord, unfortunately for Hero. It's kind of just been left out on the map to his doom. Only 2 vessels here though, so JYJ is going to have to keep these Marines and these vessels very, very tight and compact together. This is dangerous, having the vessels lead and the Marines sort of straggle behind a little bit. Just posturing around with these mutas, his Hero doesn't look to be wanting to flank this as of yet. More units coming out from this side. Could be a little bit of a sandwich where he tries to hit 2 points at once. Does hit the lurkers with some irradiate. He's going to get himself another Overlord. Overlord's now no longer an issue though, because he's 95 out of 157. So we've got to keep an eye here on 2 sides of the map. So there's Marines moving in here. There is a lurker. And now these mutas have still been kept alive and are still proving to be quite a nuisance, because what was a little bit of a bio ball is now basically 5 Marines, which is not going to be a threat to anybody. So JYJ gathering up his forces here. I think he's going to try and attack this. We're going to have a look at how many lurkers this is. It's 3, so they're not stacked on top of each other. Oh no, his mutas just flew in there for free. That's unfortunate. Although he did get a vessel with a Scourge, but he's got 3 vessels, which 1 for each lurker. I think he's going to have a window here. These guys are kind of just here now, more to block reinforcements than they are to do anything else. The Nidus, however, is a masterstroke. Comes in here, reinforces with more lurkers. Could throw some Dark Swarm, making it very, very difficult to get up there. JYJ actually thinks better of it and decides, you know what? I don't know if I can try and break this. However, the lurkers come down the hill. I don't know if that's the right call by Hero, but the confidence that the Dark Storm gives him is obviously massive. Still, the irradiates continue to go off. Only 3 lurkers in the total composition here. I don't know if he has got any more vessels. I meant to say vessels in the composition, not lurkers. So he's got 3 here and he's got 2 here. So he's going, his vessel count's moving up to about 6 or 5 at the very least, which is plenty if he can keep them alive. He's got 3 with the main, and he's got 3 here. So yes, it is 6. He's feeling that gives him the confidence to expand and take a 3rd. And I think JYJ is now actually moving into a pretty strong position here. We're certainly going to see Ling, Lurker, Defiler as the comp of choice from Hero. I've got no doubt about this. I think he's feeling a little bit trapped here, but at the end of the day, the Nidus kind of nullifies that as an issue. They can all come through here if it's necessary. So it's not too much of a challenge for him. A lot of Lings suddenly coming out here, getting on top of this bio, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to tidy that up pretty quickly. And I think Hero potentially isn't quite sure how to box his way out of this one. We'll have to see. This is a lot of vessels, man. If he can irradiate all the lurkers, he can potentially break this position. And if he does, this is a very, very critical position, though. Suddenly some Lings do come and tidy up this little bio ball under the power of Dark Swarm. Defilers, of course, a very valuable unit, as we well know. And the plan from JYJ is to irradiate the lurkers, which he's done. There is 1 lurker left there, which he could irradiate, and to do a drop. Okay, so he's done the drop. Everything has got out before the Scourge have arrived. This is a beautiful drop play. There's really not much here. There are literally drones, most of which are not mining. And the Nidus throws up a Dark Swarm, though, which could probably repel these. He's done a lovely split on the Marines, which I think is pretty good. 140 plays 89. I think JYJ is starting to really go into a commanding position here. If he gets a couple of hatches with this attack, that's really going to be the end of it. On the flip side here, the vessels are posturing around to potentially radiate any lurkers that come out of here and to detect anything. Here they do come to do exactly that. I don't know what got irradiated there. What is that? That's the Defiler himself that got irradiated. All these drones! He's obviously pulled them from the attack. The Marines are still alive here in the top left corner. There's probably about 3 or 4 of them. The Lings are going to come and tidy this up, but the damage that's been done here has been absolutely massive. He is moving some units across here from the other side, but there's just too few too slowly. Many more infantry units are coming up to reinforce this position. That drop did serious work. Now I think the plan from JYJ may just be to consolidate his units and to do another push, or to go across and push on the natural, or both. So there is only these 2 Sunkens here and a couple of Lings. Got some Fire Bats in the equation. Nice Plague though. So got that onto the Fire Bats, which was good. But there are still 6 or 7 vessels here. The vessels are really earning their money, although the Scourge does pick off one of them. The Dark Swarm is going to make this very difficult to break. But JYJ being very patient, very methodical. It's got so much macro. He's just sending piles and piles of units up this hill across the map relentlessly. And a battlecruiser has entered the equation. I did not even see this be built, but this is really problematic because all the Scourge that he has have flown into the sky, and that's basically only constituted half his hit points. So this is proving to be an absolute masterstroke. I have not seen a battlecruiser in a StarCraft match in I can't even tell you how long. So he does hightail out of there, but he's moved up the hill. He's managed to finally break this, and he's got a huge heap, including Fire Bats up here to break this position. Only Lings are being reinforced, and the Nidus is gone, which is going to force him to come across the map. He does have a little bit of a pathway to do so. So Hero's plan is a Hail Mary counter. Some Ultras have already got you to take on the third. There's heaps and heaps of Lings that have come down here, but the bio reinforcements that are sitting here at the rally, I think should be more than enough to clean this up. So these are all going to go down. The question is therefore, does JYJ have enough to take down these Ultras and these Lings? The answer is yes. Hero taps out. A very fun, feisty TVZ for you guys to have enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed that. I've got plenty more exciting games around the corner for you. If you fancy that, please do subscribe. Until next time, ciao for now.